I grew up American, obviously, and my blood's Mexican, but I feel like, the Mexicans don't accept me just because I don't speak Spanish, I grew up different than them, My mom doesn't speak Spanish, and my dad did, but I grew up without a father. I really wasn't like a troubled kid or anything. I mean, I was a young boy, getting into mischievous things, and I grew up the same as almost any Mexican. But I played in the streets with my friends. We'd all, we lived kind of on the outskirts of El Paso on the west side, so we had desert. We'd run out and play in the desert. We had some ATVs every once in a while. We just do kid things, We had pit bulls, everything. Me and my middle brother, Javier, we have the same father. The youngest, Gilbert, his real father's our stepdad, which is Eddie. He used to work the gas lines, I believe, and one day he was digging in the gas line and a tractor started backing in, and he was inside and the guy didn't know. And there's a bucket, and he was being pushed against the wall, and he had nowhere to go, so he jumped inside the bucket and it crushed his legs, and he pushed him all the way up against the wall. And he almost died from that. So, I mean, he was out of work for a long time, so it was like, it was tough on us. My mom was basically raising us as a single parent after he had left. It just difficult as a child, Thank God we had my grandparents and my uncles, and, we had a lot of supporting family to, keep us afloat. I stayed, after my mom and my stepdad separated, we lived at my grandma's for a little while, so, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know how that is. And my actual father, he never was there for us. He always blames my mom for supposedly keeping us away from him. They separated and we moved back to Roswell, basically. And before all that, I was really little. I was maybe 2 or 3 years old, and my dad was real abusive, into heavy drugs and everything. So one time I didn't want to finish my food. I believe I was like 2 or 3 years old, and he punches me in the face and gives me a black eye just for not eating, I believe that was the last straw my mom had, so we moved back with my grandma. So I can guarantee a lot of people can relate with me, especially, all over the United States and Mexico. So I'm no different than they are. Everyone from Mexico knew how I grew up. They'd accept me more, but it is what it is. Some do like me. Some always take pictures with me when I fight in Mexico. They like the way I fight, I think is what it is, and I show, I express how Mexican I am through my fights.